Oh, there we go. Who the fuck is this guy? Oh. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who I am. But I've worked with marketing for 10 years. That's quite junior compared to a lot of people. But I got started at a very interesting point of time. I would say that there have been two big paradigm shifts in marketing. The first one was when the Vikings stopped pillaging and started putting up signs. And the other one was when we went online. And that's kind of what's happened in the past 10 years. It's a huge change. So it's been an interesting time. Back when I started, this is what Facebook looked like. As you can imagine, if you worked with Facebook, this was very difficult. You didn't really have a lot of tools to work with. And this is the growth of users on Facebook. But I'm not here to talk about Facebook, but I want to show you this, because if you picture yourselves back in 2006, when this happened, when they had 12 million users. If you picture yourself back then, there's no way you would have been able to imagine the huge growth and the huge effect of the world that Facebook would have. Look at it now, almost 2 billion. And I want to show this because it shows that we have no idea what's going to happen. There's just no way we know what's going to happen tomorrow. We can guess, we can make an educated guess that in 5 to 10 years, virtual reality is going to be a huge entertainment and advertisement channel, but we don't know. So don't trust me. Don't trust anything I'm about to say. So, I'm going to talk about something I call the daily show. And I want you to picture yourself on the morning commute. You're going to work, you're on the bus, you're on the train, in the car, you're looking at your phones, you're sifting through your social feeds, you're looking for what your friends are doing, you're trying to catch up with the world. So how many in here are getting annoyed by all the crap that's in there? Like all the ads and all the noise. Yeah, I know a few of you. I guess the others really love the noise. You're like, yay, retargeting! I want to know more about the singles in my area. Yes, that's what I get. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. But the reason that you don't like it is because they're not doing it well. The people who are putting ads there are really bad at it, because if it were good, you would like it. And I want to show you a couple of examples. This is something McDonald's did a couple of years ago. They tried to create a new internet meme based on this Irish folk dance thing called Shamrock. And obviously, nobody did this, because it's unnatural, it's fucking awkward. I mean, I would never do it. And another bad thing that happened was this. I mean, David Bowie died recently. And a lot of companies, they took this opportunity to just post whatever and include David Bowie there. Crocs did this, and they received a lot of flack because it's pretty indecent, right? You're just using someone's tragedy to promote your business. So what I'm trying to get at is that you can do it better. And I have a dream. Maybe I'm a bit of a romantic, but I believe there is a thing. I believe there's a brand of tomorrow. And this is true whether it's for your personal brand, whether it's for a small startup that's selling consumer goods, whether it's an international enterprise selling B2B services. There are a few things I believe tomorrow will be true for the best brands. And there are a few traits. The first one is they're grassroots driven. I worked at Samsung before. Compare Samsung with Apple. There's one huge difference, and that's that Samsung spends probably twice or 4 or 8 times as much marketing money globally. And this is because at Apple they have a cult. They have people out in the very periphery of the company, and outside they're just spreading the evangelion of the company. So I believe this is very important for the brand of tomorrow. I think it's also important to be genuine. Stand for something, be honest. People will see through because information is spreading. It's getting easier and easier to access information in the world, and when this becomes easier, people will know more about you. And if you're insincere about who you are as a brand, they're going to start disliking you. I've done some consulting for startups in marketing, and I've told them that it's important to look at the details and also on the contrasts. So for an example, if you're a startup doing coffee and you want to tell everybody how good you are at making coffee, like you're the best coffee maker in the world, then also say that you're pretty crap at making tea. Because that kind of brings some people will trust you better, trust you more. The third one is high conversation volume. And I believe this is true because think about it. Think about it. I like the old saying, what's far from your eyes is also far from your heart. This means that it's true for brands, it's true for relationships. If anyone in here has been in a long-distance relationship, you know that if you don't speak, if you don't see each other, you grow apart usually. It's the same with brands. They will not buy your product if they forget about you, so you need to make sure that they are not forgetting about you. And the last one, it's probably a good idea to be well-liked. Look at North Korea for an example. They're not the best example. I mean, it's a kind of a fascist dictatorship, but recently, they haven't been doing a lot of bad things, so investors started looking at them. They were invited to international forums, but then a month ago, they tested a hydrogen bomb. and so they got kicked out of everything, and everybody hates them again. So I guess we're back to usual. So I do want to talk a little bit about how to actually get there. And I think there are three components. Obviously, you need to know who you are as a brand. You need to have an identity. Think this through. Don't forget about this. You need to know who you're talking to, the target audience, not just a one-liner. It's not okay to say that your target audience is, well, anyone who will buy my product. No. You need to know about their passion points, the gym they go to, what their families look like, their vacation routes, whatever. You need to know about them. And finally, you need a strategy. And I don't like the word strategy, but I'm going to tell you something. I believe if we use basic principles, and now Elon Musk, he loves basic principles. It's all about drilling it down to the basic fundamentals. And the things that are true for all of the things of the brand of tomorrow is, it's about conversation. So we need to generate conversation somehow if we want to achieve success. And how do we do this? Well, we come up with excuses to do it. It's all about coming up with excuses to generate conversation. And a few ways to do this is to have events like this one. I think this Rockit conference is an excellent excuse to talk about Rockit and IT in Moldova. You can have featurettes, like tiny campaigns or games or something that engages your clients, probably online. You can have good service. If you're very nice to customers, people will talk about your service. They will talk to their friends about it, and that's very good. You can have sponsorships. You can have a good product. Reinvent yourself. You can work with press to do fun things. You can work with ambassadors, influencers, and that's become very popular lately, influencers. And this is an example of what that might look like. So, I mean, most people, they look at this and they say, it's a funny picture. It's quite funny. I follow Bitches on Instagram. It's a great account. And it's like 1,000 other accounts. They just post funny pictures all the time. But these guys make a lot of money because they do these ads all the time. So this is obviously for French mustard. And people just don't realize that this is advertisement. It's very popular right now. It's probably not going to grow a lot over the coming years because it's already reached a point where everybody's doing it. But it's worth keeping your eye on. Now I want to share this with you. This is my formula. And this helps you create good content for yourself, for your company. It's about combining opportunity, which is all these excuses we were talking about. It's combining that with your brand. So it's about an emotional promise, a rational proposition. Let's think, I like this organization called the Sea Shepherd Preservation Society. Sea Shepherds. They actually hunt Japanese whale hunters. Because it's illegal to do whale hunting. So that's a pretty good thing. They have a TV show in the US, which is nice. You should check it out. So the thing is, they have an emotional promise that, hey, save the whales, don't hurt the whales. It sucks. They suffer, which is good because people believe in that. They have a rational proposition. We need the whales to save the oceans. We need an ecosystem. And finally, you need to find the passion points. The passion points of your target audience. Combining all this will make for excellent excuses of conversation, and people will talk about you. And I want to show you an example. This was a campaign by a Swedish underwear brand, Björn Borg. I'm from Sweden. I'm wearing this brand myself. So for first-person lover, for those of you who don't know video games, that's a play on words. It's from first-person shooter. And it's actually, they developed a game where you run around in your underwear and well, shoot each other, I guess, but with love, with hearts. And I like this campaign because it was very successful. I liked it for two reasons. First, they really followed the formula. So they had the emotional promise, well, like, yeah, you're going to be the perfect lover if you buy our underwear. They have the rational proposition, like they're showing these models in a very beautiful manner. So you can see it looks good, it checks out. And they knew that the target audience for their product was young men, 13 to 35, and that these guys love video games. So that's why this was very successful. And the other thing I like about it is it's actually added value. People had fun checking this out. It was not just something they scrolled past in their timelines. And I do want to talk a bit about distribution, because just having good content, good stuff to talk about, that's not enough. So imagine now, it's Sunday morning, you were out last night, rough night, you're in the bed, it's 8 a.m., it's 7 a.m., let's make it worse, 7 a.m., the phone calls. And you're like, oh, shut up. But no, it keeps calling. It's calling twice, because you didn't pick up the first time. As you crawl out of the bed, 7 a.m., you're really tired. You pick up, you have this coarse voice, and you're like, yeah, what's up? Sebastian. And they're like, hi, we're calling from your mobile phone company, and we would like to offer you an upgrade on your tariff right now, because you're not spending optimally. I'm like, fuck. Has this happened to anyone? Because it has happened to me, and it made me pissed off. I started hating those guys. And you know, they had a point, because I wasn't using my account in the best way possible, but they didn't know how to tell me. Because I don't want to be called, I don't want to be called fucking 7 a.m. on a Sunday morning. So my point is, do your research. It's easy to Google for where your target audience is, or to survey them. Just find out where they are and how they want to be approached. This is how you really succeed. And together with great content and some kind of process, we're going to be golden. So I'm going to share something with you. This is my, I'm going to let you look at my personal toolbox. It's taken a few years to get here, but I'm pretty happy with the way it looks right now. Something like this. There you go. The first layer are the excuses to talk to people. You start with an excuse to engage them, and then you build from there. You continue with a channel of distribution. As you can see, you can both engage press in a fun way as an excuse, and you can use them to spread the word. Unfortunately, press is not very reliable, because they don't tell you, they don't say what you want them to say. They just, they try to make good news. So, and the final part, and this is the golden one. This is my process. So at the beginning of the year, you're going to know that a few key things are going to happen during this year. Maybe you're going to Thailand. You know you're going on a vacation somewhere later this year. You start planning for it early. This is going to be your best opportunity over the year to get engagement. You will know about these best opportunities early on in the year. So start early. Then go into weekly meetings. Put together a workshop. Gather everybody. Think of ideas. What we're going to do every day. Everybody can participate. Then go into production. There needs to be a process, and this is my process. And together they form my toolbox. So I want to leave you with a few like summarizing words. Find an activity cadence you can manage, because not everybody can do something every day, especially if you're a small startup, a small company. You're going to need to find maybe once every week. That's enough. That's enough. The second thing is create an ambassador out of every employee, or if you're an individual, out of all of your friends. Make people love you and empower them to spread the word about what you're doing. You need to believe in them, or they're just going to be demotivated, and they're not going to say good things about you behind your back, trust me. The third one is be genuine. I told you, you need to be open about what you're doing, or people will see right through it. And the final one is, if people don't like what you're doing it wrong. And this was my daily show. Thank you for listening, and good luck with your future brands.